Hello, my friend. Welcome back to English Listening Practice, the place where we learn English while learning about life. I'm so happy you're here today. If this is your first time, hello and welcome. If you're already part of this channel, thank you for coming back. You're my study partner, my friend, and my teammate in learning and growing. Now, let me ask you something funny. Do you have problems? Of course you do. Me too. But today, we're not going to run away from them. We're going to dance with them. Yes, dance. Problems may try to step on your toes, but we'll learn how to move with them gracefully, powerfully, and maybe even with a smile. So get ready, my friend. Today's lesson is called Dancing with Problems, and by the end, you'll see that your problems can become your best teachers. My friend, let's talk about something we all know very well: laziness. You know that feeling, right? You wake up in the morning, the alarm is ringing, and your mind says, just 5 more minutes. You lie there, feeling warm and comfortable. It feels so harmless. But that small moment, repeated every day, becomes something big. It's like a quiet thief. Laziness doesn't steal your money. It steals something even more valuable: your time, your energy, and your dreams. At first, laziness seems kind. It whispers, "Relax, you can do it later." It gives you comfort, a soft pillow for your excuses. But behind that comfort, it's building a wall between you and your goals. Every time you choose comfort over effort, the wall grows taller. One day, you look up and realize it's blocking your view of what your life could have been. Let me tell you a story. There was once a student named Tom. Every morning, he promised himself that he would start studying English seriously. He even made a plan. "Today, I'll study for 1 hour," he said. But then he checked his phone, watched one video, then another, and said, "I'll start after lunch." After lunch, he felt sleepy. "I'll start tonight," he said. But night came, and the same thing happened again. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. 10 years passed. One day, Tom met an old friend who spoke English fluently and worked in another country. Tom smiled politely but felt a deep pain inside. He realized that every small delay had stolen his chance to grow. The regret was heavy because he knew he had time, but he didn't use it. Now, let's meet another student, Anna. She also wanted to learn English, but she didn't have much free time. She worked long hours and she was tired every day. Still, she told herself, just 5 minutes. She listened to one short podcast while cooking dinner. The next day, she practiced 5 new words. It didn't seem like much, but she kept doing it every day, just a little. 10 years later, Anna wasn't just fluent. She had a new job, new confidence, and new opportunities. Her small daily actions created a completely different life. You see, both Tom and Anna had the same number of hours, the same 24 hours every day. But they used them differently. Tom chose the easy road, the road of comfort, delay, and excuses. Anna chose the harder road, the road of small effort, consistency, and patience. The difference wasn't talent or luck. The difference was action. Let's think about these 2 roads. Imagine you're standing at a fork and you must choose. The first road looks smooth and easy. It's comfortable. There are soft chairs, a warm breeze, and no pressure. You walk for a while, enjoying the comfort. But after some time, you notice something strange. You're still in the same place. The easy road goes in a circle. It brings you back to the same starting point again and again. That's the road of laziness. Now, look at the second road. It's steep, rocky, and hard. The first steps are difficult. You sweat. You struggle. You want to give up. But as you continue walking, something amazing happens. The path becomes smoother, and your legs become stronger. You start to enjoy the climb. And when you reach the top, the view is beautiful. You see how far you've come. That's the road of effort. The hard road is the road of growth and reward. The truth is simple. Comfort is cheap, but action is priceless. Comfort gives you a few minutes of pleasure, but action gives you a lifetime of pride. Comfort gives you peace today, but regret tomorrow. Effort gives you challenge today, but joy tomorrow. Every small action, even 1 minute of reading, 1 line of writing, 1 small conversation in English, is a seed. And when you plant those seeds every day, they grow into a forest of success. Laziness doesn't just waste time. It changes who you are. When you say, "I'll do it later," again and again, you start believing it. You start calling yourself lazy. You begin to identify with that word. And once it becomes part of your identity, it's hard to break free. But the opposite is also true. When you take action, even a small one, you start seeing yourself differently. You begin to think, "I'm a person who takes action." That thought builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum, and momentum builds results. If you've ever felt stuck in laziness, don't be ashamed. We all have those moments. What matters is what you do next. You can break the chain. You don't have to wait for motivation. You just have to take one small action. It could be opening your notebook, watching 1 English video, or reading 1 paragraph. That's how change begins, not with a big leap, but with a single step. Remember, laziness feels good for a moment, but it takes your time and your dreams. Effort feels hard for a moment, but it gives you pride and freedom. Every time you choose effort, you invest in your future self, the stronger, wiser, happier version of you. So, my friend, as you listen to this, imagine those 2 roads in front of you. One is soft and easy, but leads nowhere. The other is hard, but full of growth. Which one will you take today? Because in the end, your future is not built by what you plan to do. It's built by what you actually do. Don't let laziness steal your time. Take a small step today. The road may be difficult, but the reward, your progress, your confidence, your success is worth it. My friend, let's talk honestly about something that almost everyone depends on: motivation. You know that feeling, right? You watch a video, listen to a powerful speech, or see a success story, and suddenly your heart is full of energy. You say to yourself, "Yes, this time I'll do it. I'll change my life. I'll study every day." You feel unstoppable for 1 hour, maybe even 1 day. But then, slowly, the energy disappears. You wake up the next morning and that fire is gone. You feel tired, distracted, maybe a little lazy again. You say, "What happened? Yesterday, I was so excited." That's the problem, my friend. Motivation doesn't last. It's like a spark, bright, exciting, but gone in seconds if you don't feed it. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions change every day. One moment you feel strong and focused, and the next moment you just want to rest or scroll on your phone. If you only work when you feel motivated, you'll never build consistency. And without consistency, there is no real progress. Let's meet someone named Leo. Leo really wanted to improve his English. He loved watching motivational videos. Every time he watched one, he felt inspired. He imagined himself traveling, speaking confidently with people from around the world. He wrote big plans in his notebook. "I will study 2 hours every day. I will master English this year." For the first 2 days, he worked hard. He practiced vocabulary, listened to podcasts, and even spoke aloud in front of the mirror. But on the 3rd day, he felt tired. He said, "I'll take a small break." That small break became 2 days. Then a week. Then a month. Soon, Leo stopped studying completely. One evening, he watched another motivational video. He felt inspired again and said, "This time, I'll really do it." But the same thing happened. The motivation came and went like a wave. He didn't realize that he was trapped in a cycle of motivation, always excited to start, but never consistent enough to continue now. Let's meet another learner, Maria. Maria didn't wait for motivation. She understood that motivation is like the weather, sunny one day, cloudy the next. So instead of waiting for perfect conditions, she made a system. Every morning, before breakfast, she listened to one short English story. Sometimes she didn't feel like doing it, but she did it anyway. At first, it was difficult. But after a few weeks, it became a habit. It was just part of her day, like brushing her teeth. Even when she didn't feel motivated, she followed her routine. And after some time, she noticed something interesting. Once she started, she began to feel motivated. The action itself created the energy she needed. That's the secret most people don't understand. Action creates motivation. Motivation does not create action. Think of motivation like a spark. A spark can start a fire, but only if you keep feeding it with wood. That wood is your action, your daily effort. If you don't act, the spark dies. If you act even a little, it grows into a strong, steady fire. And that steady fire is called discipline. Let's look at the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation says, I feel like doing it. Discipline says, I'll do it whether I feel like it or not. Motivation depends on emotion. Discipline depends on decision. Motivation is loud, but short. Discipline is quiet, but strong. The truth is, every successful person you admire, athletes, entrepreneurs, musicians, writers, doesn't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline, on habits, on systems. They build routines that carry them even when their emotions change. They understand that feelings come and go, but action can be chosen every day. Let's imagine you want to learn English. If you wait until you feel ready, you might wait forever. But if you create a simple system, you can move forward no matter what. For example, time blocking. Decide a specific time every day for English. For example, 7:30 a.m. for 10 minutes. Habit linking. Connect your study to another habit. After breakfast, I listen to an English story. Tiny commitment. Promise yourself something so small that you can't say no. Just 5 minutes. These systems protect you from your emotions. Some days you'll be happy and full of energy. Some days you'll feel lazy or tired. But if you follow your system, you keep moving forward, step by step, day by day. That's how real progress happens. Here's another way to think about it. Motivation is like sugar. It gives you a quick burst of energy, but then it disappears. Discipline is like healthy food. It gives you steady strength for a long time. If you only eat sugar, you'll crash. If you build discipline, you'll last. Let me tell you a small personal story. A student once told me, "Teacher, I always wait for motivation to study English, but it never lasts. What should I do?" I smiled and said, "Stop waiting for motivation. Start waiting for results." She looked confused, so I explained, "Don't wait to feel ready. Just begin. When you see results, even small ones, you'll feel motivated naturally." And that's exactly what happened. She started reading one English paragraph every day. After 1 week, she could understand more. That progress gave her new motivation. The action came first. The feeling came second. My friend, if you only work when you feel motivated, you'll only work a few days a month. But if you decide to work even without motivation, you'll soon find that motivation comes to you. The energy follows the action, not the other way around. So next time you don't feel like doing something, studying, exercising, writing, tell yourself this: I don't need motivation. I just need to start. Remember this English phrase? Discipline is stronger than motivation. You can't control your feelings, but you can control your actions. And your actions will create the feelings you need. When you take action, your brain says, "Oh, we're doing this now," and it starts giving you energy. That's how momentum begins. But when you wait to feel ready, your brain becomes lazy too. It believes your words, "Not now, maybe later." Later becomes "never so." My dear friend, stop chasing motivation. Build systems. Build habits. Build discipline. Because motivation is temporary, but discipline is forever. And remember, motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps you warm. Action is the fuel that keeps it burning. If you start now, even small, even tired, you'll discover a new kind of energy. Not the loud excitement of motivation, but the quiet power of discipline. And that's the energy that builds your future. My friend, have you ever felt lazy, but somehow, once you finally started doing something, you suddenly had energy? You didn't feel like studying, but after you opened your notebook and began, it became easier. You didn't feel like cleaning, but after picking up the first thing, you kept going until the whole room was clean. That's not magic. That's a real, powerful trick, a mental trick that almost nobody talks about. The secret is simple. Start first, and energy will follow. Most people wait for energy before they start. They say, "When I feel ready, I'll study." Or, "When I have more motivation, I'll go exercise." But that moment never comes. The truth is that you don't get energy before you start, you get it after you start. Think about pushing a car. When it's not moving, it feels so heavy. It's hard to make it move even 1 inch. But once it starts rolling, it becomes lighter and lighter. Your brain and body work the same way. Starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. And everything gets easier. Let's meet a student named Sam. Sam wanted to improve his English, but he was always tired after work. Every evening, he said, "I'll study later," but later never came. He felt too lazy, too sleepy. One day, he decided to try a new rule, just 5 minutes. He told himself, "I'll only study English for 5 minutes. That's all." He opened his book, read a few lines, and listened to a short dialogue. After 5 minutes, something interesting happened. He didn't want to stop. He thought, "Well, I'm already studying. Maybe I'll keep going for a little longer." Those 5 minutes became 15, then 30, then an hour. Sam realized something powerful once he started. His brain created the energy he needed. He laughed and said the hardest part wasn't studying. It was starting. That's the trick. Once you begin, your body and mind wake up. Your focus grows, your energy increases, and your motivation appears. That's why the phrase for today is, "Start small and energy will follow." This rule works not only for studying, but for almost everything in life. Let's take cleaning as an example. You look at your messy room, and it feels impossible. You think, "It's too much. I don't even know where to start." But then you decide to pick up just one thing, maybe one shirt or one paper. Suddenly, after a few minutes, you're cleaning everything. Why? Because action creates momentum. Or think about exercise. The hardest part is putting on your shoes. You think, "I don't feel like it today." But once you start walking or stretching, your heart beats faster, and your brain says, "Hey, this feels good." The more you move, the more energy you have. So many people wait for motivation to begin, but successful people do the opposite. They begin first and let motivation catch up later. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're sitting at home, feeling lazy. You don't want to study, exercise, or clean. You just want to scroll on your phone. But then, you decide to do one tiny thing. Open your English app, or pick one short video. You say, "Only 1 minute." After a minute, you're already doing it. Your brain says, "Well, we've started, so let's keep going." That's the moment you've tricked your brain. You've turned laziness into motion. Psychologists call this the activation energy principle, the idea that every task requires a little burst of energy at the beginning. If you can break through that small wall, everything becomes easier. You don't need a lot of energy to start, just enough to take the first tiny step. The problem is, most people try to fight laziness with feelings. They wait for inspiration for the right moment. But laziness is not a feeling problem. It's a momentum problem. You don't defeat it with emotion. You defeat it with motion. So the next time you feel lazy, don't argue with your mind. Don't say, I should do this, but I don't want to. Just tell yourself, only 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes to study. Only 5 minutes to clean. Only 5 minutes to write. 5 minutes is easy. Your brain won't resist. And once you start, your brain will help you continue. Here's another story. Mia hated exercising. She said, every time I think about going to the gym, I feel tired before I even start. One day, she tried a new rule. She told herself, I'll just put on my shoes and step outside. That's it. No pressure to run, no big goal, just put on her shoes. When she stepped outside, she thought, well, I'm already here. Maybe I'll walk for a bit. Then she started jogging. 30 minutes later, she came home sweating, smiling, and full of energy. She said, it's funny. I was tired before I started, but now I feel amazing. That's the power of the start first rule. You don't wait for energy to come. You create it by moving. Here's the English phrase to remember. Start small, and energy will follow. Say it out loud with me. Start small, and energy will follow. It's short, simple. And true, this trick also works beautifully for English learning. Sometimes you don't want to study vocabulary or grammar. You feel bored or distracted. But if you tell yourself, I'll just do 5 minutes, something changes. You open your notebook, look at one word, read one sentence, and suddenly your focus grows. Before you know it, you've studied for half an hour. The secret is not motivation. The secret is motion. Movement creates mood. Let's imagine 2 people sitting side by side. Both want to study English. One says, I'll wait until I feel ready. The other says, I'll just start for 5 minutes. Who do you think will succeed? Of course, the one who starts. Because motivation doesn't visit those who wait. It visits those who begin. So here's your challenge for today. Think of one thing you've been avoiding, maybe studying, cleaning, or exercising. Tell yourself, just 5 minutes. Start. Don't think, don't wait, just start. You'll see how your energy changes. Once you start, you'll feel stronger. And that small start might become your biggest victory. Remember this: you don't need to be ready to begin. You don't need to feel inspired. You don't need a perfect plan. You only need one thing to start. Once you do, your brain, your energy, and your motivation will follow. So, my friend, next time laziness tries to whisper, not today, smile and whisper back. Just 5 minutes, because that's all it takes to change your day and maybe your life. My friend, have you ever set a big goal and then felt scared to start? Maybe you wanted to run a marathon, write a book, or learn English perfectly. Big goals sound exciting, but sometimes they feel too heavy. You think, I can't do this. It's too hard. Maybe later, and then nothing happens. You stay in the same place. Here's the truth. Big goals create fear and frustration. They make us feel small, weak, and sometimes lazy. But small goals are different. Small goals make success easy. Small goals build consistency. And consistency is the real secret to winning big. Let me tell you a story about a marathon runner named Alex. Alex had never run before. The thought of running 42 kilometers, 26 miles, made him nervous. One day a friend said, "Just start. Run 5 minutes today." 5 minutes. That seemed easy. So Alex ran for 5 minutes. He came back home tired but happy. The next day, he ran 7 minutes. Then 10. Each day, a little more. Step by step. Little by little. Months later, Alex could run 30 minutes. After a year, he ran 10 kilometers. And finally, 2 years later, he finished a full marathon. All because he started small. All because he didn't try to run 42 kilometers on the first day. The same principle works for learning English. Imagine you want to speak fluently. You might feel overwhelmed by grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening. But if you practice just 5 minutes a day, you can grow slowly but surely. Let's meet Mia, an English learner. She decided to study just 5 minutes every day. At first, 5 minutes felt easy. She reviewed one word, listened to one sentence, or wrote a short note. After a week, 5 minutes became 10. Then 15. 1 year later, she could understand movies and hold conversations in English. The lesson is clear. Small daily actions grow into big results. You don't need to do everything at once. You only need to do a little every day. Over time, small efforts compound like snow rolling down a hill. They become something big and unstoppable. Think about this English phrase, step by step, little by little. Say it out loud, step by step. Little by little, simple but powerful. Small steps might feel tiny today, but tomorrow they will add up. Another story comes from the world of business. A young entrepreneur named Leo wanted to start a company. He imagined a huge business with hundreds of employees and millions of dollars in revenue. At first, he felt frozen. The goal was too big. Then he decided, I'll start by learning one thing each day. I'll write down one small idea and take one small action. Every day, Leo did a small task. Some days he sent one email, wrote one paragraph, or learned one marketing tip. Months passed, and Leo's small steps built knowledge, confidence, and connections. 1 year later, he launched a small product. 2 years later, his company grew steadily. His secret: step by step, little by little. Big goals are scary. Small goals are brave. Big goals may paralyze you. Small goals give you courage. Big goals may fail. Small goals create success, and over time, that success becomes huge. Here's a practical tip. Choose one small action today. Don't think about the whole marathon. Don't think about fluent English in 1 month. Just do one small thing. Maybe run 5 minutes. Listen to one English audio. Write one sentence in English. Clean one small part of your room. Do that. That's it. Tomorrow, add a little more. And slowly, step by step, little by little, you will reach your big goal. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need huge effort at once. Huge effort may burn you out, but small effort every day. That builds a habit, that builds confidence, that builds results. Let's think about a metaphor: planting a tree. You don't plant a giant tree in 1 day. You plant a tiny seed. You water it daily. You wait patiently. Slowly, the seed becomes a sapling. Years later, it grows into a strong tree, giving shade, fruits, and beauty. Your small daily actions are seeds. Your big success is the tree. Even in English learning, this works perfectly. Don't memorize 100 new words in 1 day. That's too much. Learn 1 or 2 words daily. Repeat, listen, speak. After a year, you will know hundreds of words. After 2 years, thousands. You'll speak fluently just from tiny daily steps. Here's another tip. Celebrate small wins. Did you study for 5 minutes today? Did you run for 5 minutes? Did you clean one corner of your room? Celebrate it. These small wins create positive momentum. They remind your brain, yes, I am doing something. I am winning. Remember Alex, the marathon runner? He didn't celebrate the finish line first. He celebrated every 5-minute run, every 10-minute run. Each small success added pride, energy, and confidence. Over time, those small victories built a giant accomplishment. So, my friend, here's the lesson. Big goals can scare you. Small goals make you brave. Small, daily. Actions create momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence grows into huge success. Keep this phrase in your mind and heart. Step by step, little by little. Say it every day when you feel lazy, scared, or overwhelmed. Remind yourself, today's small step is tomorrow's big achievement. Your challenge for today? Pick one small action. Do it now. 5 minutes is enough. Listen to one English audio. Read one paragraph. Walk 5 minutes. That's your start. Step by step, little by little, you will win big. Have you ever noticed something interesting? The hardest part of any task is usually the very first step. Starting feels heavy, scary, or boring. But once you start, something magical happens. You feel energy. You feel movement. You feel power. This is called momentum. Momentum is the energy you gain after beginning. It makes action easier, faster, and more natural. Think of a bicycle. Pushing it at first is hard. But once it rolls, it keeps moving with less effort. Life works the same way. Momentum makes your mind and body follow. Let's see how momentum works in real life. Imagine a messy room. You look at it and think, wow, this is too much. I'll do it later. That's laziness talking. But then, you pick one small corner and start cleaning. Just one corner. You dust a shelf, put some books away, sweep the floor. Suddenly, you feel something. Energy. Motivation grows. You continue cleaning. One small start leads to a full, sparkling room. That is momentum in action. The same happens with exercise. Maybe you plan to work out, but you feel tired. You tell yourself, I will just do 2 minutes. 2 minutes is easy. You start stretching, jumping, or jogging. Then 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. Before you know it, you've completed a full workout. The first step was hardest. The rest came naturally. That is the power of momentum. English study is no different. Many learners feel overwhelmed. They think, I need to study 1 hour today. That is too much. Then they feel lazy and do nothing. Here's the trick. Start with just one sentence. Read one sentence. Write one sentence. Speak one sentence. Suddenly, your brain wakes up. You continue reading. You write more. You even start a conversation. One tiny step grows into hours of productive study. Momentum works in every area of life. Remember this simple phrase, just begin. Say it out loud whenever you feel lazy or scared. Just begin. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for energy. Don't wait for a perfect plan. Just begin. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates energy. Energy keeps you moving. Let me tell you a story about Sam, an English learner. Sam wanted to improve speaking but felt too shy. He thought, I will start tomorrow. Maybe next week. Days passed. Nothing changed. Then one day, he said, I will speak just one sentence today. He called a friend and said, Hello. How are you? That one sentence was small, but it started momentum. The next day, he spoke 5 sentences, then 10. A week later, he could hold a full conversation. One tiny start led to steady progress. Momentum works because action beats fear. When we think too much, we feel tired or anxious. Our mind looks for excuses. But once we move, the mind stops overthinking. The body joins. Motivation appears after action, not before. This is why people say, action creates motivation. Here's another story. Lisa wanted to exercise, but she was lazy. She told herself, I will do just 2 minutes. She started with 2 minutes of push-ups. After 1 minute, she felt energy. After 2 minutes, she did 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, she completed a 30-minute workout. The key was starting small. The key was building momentum. Even in work or studying, momentum works. If you have a big project, you may feel frozen. You think, where do I start? Then you do a tiny first task. Maybe writing 1 sentence, cleaning 1 desk, or reading 1 paragraph. Suddenly, your brain says, I can do more. You continue. Momentum grows. What seemed impossible becomes possible. Here is a metaphor. Imagine rolling a heavy boulder up a hill. At first, it is very hard. You push a little, and it barely moves. But after some time, the boulder rolls faster. It is easier to push. Momentum has taken over. Life works the same way. Small actions create movement. Movement creates energy. Energy creates results. A simple formula you can remember. Start gives momentum, gives energy, gives progress, gives success. Momentum also helps with laziness. Laziness is like a heavy blanket. It makes you slow, sleepy, and hesitant. But when you start, even with 1 tiny step, momentum pulls you out of laziness. Your brain feels active. Your body feels ready. You continue automatically. Tips to use momentum. Start small, 1 sentence. 1 corner, 2 minutes. Ignore perfection. Just move. Just act. Celebrate tiny wins. They remind your brain, I am doing something. Keep the ball rolling after starting. Continue until the task grows naturally. Remember my English phrase, just begin. Say it daily. Whisper it to yourself when you feel lazy. Write it on a note. Post it on your desk. Momentum always starts with 1 action. You don't need magic, luck, or inspiration. You need just 1 small step. So, my friend, here's your challenge. Take 1 tiny action now. 5 minutes of reading English. Clean 1 small spot in your room. Stretch for 2 minutes. Call 1 friend and say hello. That is your first step. That is your start of momentum. After that, everything becomes easier. Momentum is your secret weapon. It turns small steps into big results. It defeats laziness. It creates energy, confidence, and success. Remember, the first step is the hardest. But once you start, the mind and body follow. Just begin. We all make excuses. I am too tired. I will do it tomorrow. I don't have enough time. Excuses feel comfortable. They are soft, easy, and familiar. But here is the truth. Excuses stop your growth. They keep you in the same place. They let laziness win. Excuses may feel like friends, but they are sneaky enemies. They make you feel safe for a moment, but steal your future. Every time you say, I will do it later, you give time and energy to nothing. You feel good now, but later. Regret appears. Let's see a story. A student wanted to learn English. Every day, he promised, I will study tomorrow. Tomorrow came. And again he said, tomorrow I will start. Weeks, months, and even years passed. He looked back and felt regret. He lost time. He lost confidence. The excuse later had taken over. But there is another way. Another student faced the same challenge. He used a simple trick, the 5-minute rule. He told himself, I will study just 5 minutes now. 5 minutes felt easy, small, doable. He opened his book, read a little, wrote one sentence, and repeated one phrase. Suddenly, 5 minutes turned into 20, then 30. He built a habit, not a heavy task. He gained confidence and energy. Excuses could not stop him. This is the power of tiny actions. Excuses are strong when tasks feel too big or scary. But tiny actions are stronger. They defeat excuses gently and naturally. You do not need a huge effort. You do not need a perfect plan. You only need a small start. Here is a simple strategy to defeat excuses. Answer with only 5 minutes. Whenever you feel lazy or hesitant, tell yourself, I will clean for only 5 minutes. I will write English for only 5 minutes. I will exercise for only 5 minutes. 5 minutes is tiny. It is so easy that your brain says, okay, I can do that. And once you start, momentum begins. You usually do more than 5 minutes without thinking. Use humor and curiosity. Excuses grow stronger if you take them too seriously. Laugh at them instead. Oh, I am too lazy. Really? That's cute. Humor reduces mental resistance. Curiosity also helps. I wonder what happens if I just start. That tiny spark is enough to begin. Remember the result of small action? Small action produces energy and confidence. Every tiny win reminds your brain, I can do it. That energy grows. Motivation grows. You no longer need excuses. You feel proud. Let me tell you another story. Mia wanted to practice English daily. She kept saying, I will do it tomorrow. Then one day, she tried the 5-minute rule. She studied 5 minutes in the morning. She laughed at herself and said, okay, that's all I need. She finished 5 minutes, but then she continued for 15 minutes. By the end of the week, she had studied almost every day. She felt proud and confident. Tiny action defeated excuses. Excuses are like small stones in your shoes. At first, they seem harmless. You walk a little slower, but if you ignore them, they hurt more. Tiny actions are like removing the stones. You feel light, free, and ready to run. Another example is exercise. Alex wanted to exercise but made excuses. I am too tired. I don't have time. He decided on a tiny start. Do just 5 push-ups. 5 push-ups felt easy. He finished them, smiled, and continued with 20 more. Excuses lost their power. Momentum took over. He felt strong and energetic. Here is a key lesson. Tiny actions destroy excuses. The more you act, the weaker excuses become. The more you act, the more confidence you gain. The more you act, the easier future actions become. Energy grows, motivation grows, and laziness loses its grip. Tips to defeat excuses. Always remember the 5-minute rule. Tiny action is enough to start. Use humor. Laugh at laziness. Make excuses feel silly. Track small wins. Every little action counts. Your brain remembers success. Celebrate tiny progress. Even one sentence of English, one push-up, or cleaning one corner is progress. Remember this English phrase, only 5 minutes. Whenever you feel lazy, repeat it. Whisper it to yourself. Write it down. It is small, but powerful. Excuses cannot win against a tiny start. Your turn, today. Pick one thing you have been avoiding. Say, I will do it for only 5 minutes. Start now. Open a book, clean a table, write a sentence, or stretch. That tiny start will grow into action. Excuses will disappear. Energy will appear. Confidence will grow. Momentum will begin. Excuses are comfortable, but they steal your life. Tiny actions are uncomfortable at first, but give freedom, power, and progress. Tiny actions beat excuses every time. Only 5 minutes. Tiny actions destroy excuses. Energy and confidence grow after action. Take action now. Your future self will thank you. Laziness and excuses are weak when faced with small, consistent steps. Start small, act now, and watch excuses vanish. Discipline is the secret to success. But what is discipline? Discipline is doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It is not waiting for motivation. It is not waiting for energy or inspiration. Discipline is action, even when you feel lazy. Think about your body. Muscles do not grow by sitting on the couch. You need to lift, push, and stretch a little every day. Slowly, the muscles become stronger. Discipline works the same way. It is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Let's see a story. Lee is learning English. At first, he feels lazy. Some days he studies, some days he does not. He makes random effort. After a year, he sees little improvement. His progress is slow. He feels frustrated. Then Lee changes his approach. He decides to study 20 minutes every day. No excuses. Even if he is tired, even if he is busy, he studies just 20 minutes. At first, it is hard. Some days, he only wants to rest. But he sticks to his plan. After a few weeks, studying becomes easier. After a few months, it feels natural. His mind expects the 20 minutes of study. He gains confidence. He sees real improvement. This is the power of discipline. Random effort is like running without shoes on rough ground. You can move forward, but slowly and painfully. Discipline is like wearing strong shoes and running a little every day. Your progress is steady and reliable. Another example? Exercise. Maria wants to get fit. At first, she exercises randomly, whenever she feels like it. Weeks pass, but results are slow. Then she decides to exercise 10 minutes daily, every day. Even if she is tired, even if it is raining, she does 10 minutes. After a month, her strength increases. After 3 months, her stamina grows. Discipline builds momentum. Discipline is built in small steps every day. You do not need huge actions. Tiny, consistent steps work better than random big efforts. This is why athletes, musicians, and writers all succeed with routines. They train a little every day. They make discipline a habit. Here is a simple metaphor. Discipline is a muscle. You train it daily. Some days it feels hard. Some days it feels weak. But each day it grows stronger. Soon, discipline becomes automatic. It helps you finish tasks, learn skills, and reach goals, even when motivation is gone. For English learners, discipline is crucial. Learning a language requires time and practice. You cannot learn fluency in one day. You cannot rely on inspiration. You must practice consistently. Even 20 minutes daily adds up. 1 year of consistent effort equals 7,300 minutes. That is more than 120 hours of focused practice. Imagine what you can achieve with that. Here's a phrase to remember. Every day, a little more. Use it every day. Remind yourself that small daily effort grows into strength, skill, and success. Let's look at another story. Tom wants to write a book. He feels tired, lazy, and busy. Some days he writes 1,000 words. Some days he writes nothing. He struggles. After months, progress is slow. Then he changes his approach. 100 words every day, no exceptions. Some days he writes 100 words easily. Some days it is hard. Weeks pass, months pass. Slowly, the words add up. 1 year later, Tom finishes his book. Discipline made it possible. Discipline does not limit freedom. In fact, discipline creates freedom. Why? Because when you are disciplined, you do not need to rely on motivation or feelings. You have a system. You have a habit. Your mind knows what to do. You are free from stress, indecision, and excuses. You are free to grow, learn, and achieve. Here is how to build your discipline muscle. Pick a small daily action example. Study 20 minutes. Write 100 words. Do 10 push-ups. Do it every day. No excuses. Discipline grows through repetition. Celebrate tiny wins each day. You act. You strengthen your discipline. Increase slowly. Add 1 minute, 1 word, or 1 push-up over time. Progress feels natural. Repeat daily. Consistency is key. One missed day is okay, but keep going. Remember, discipline compounds effort. Tiny actions become habits. Habits become skills. Skills become success. Discipline makes you strong, reliable, and confident. Here is another example for English learners. Sarah studies 20 minutes every day. Some days she wants to quit. She feels lazy, but she follows her routine. After 6 months, speaking English becomes easier. Listening improves. Writing improves. Discipline transformed her ability. She does not wait for motivation anymore. She has built a reliable habit. Key phrase: every day, a little more. Use it in your life. Study a little more each day. Exercise a little more. Write a little more. Action, repetition, and routine create strong discipline. Lesson summary: discipline equals action without relying on motivation. Discipline grows like a muscle. Small, daily effort builds strength. Routine creates freedom, consistency, and real progress. Tiny steps, repeated daily, lead to big results. Your turn. Choose one small action today. Do it, even if you feel lazy. Repeat it tomorrow. Repeat it the next day. Watch your discipline grow. Watch your progress grow. Watch your confidence grow. Discipline is not magic. It is practice, repetition, and patience. Every day, a little more. That is how success is built. Do you know why some people take action easily while others always delay? It is not just about motivation or skills. It is about identity. Your identity is how you see yourself. Your identity is the story you tell yourself. I am lazy. I am smart. I am a learner. I am a doer. Here is the important truth. You act according to who you believe you are. If you believe you are lazy, you will act lazily. If you believe you are a doer, you will take action. Identity shapes habits, and habits shape your life. Let me share a story. A man named John always said, "I'm lazy. I can't finish tasks." Every day, he planned to study English, exercise, or work on his projects. But he rarely did. He felt tired, distracted, and unmotivated. He repeated the same pattern for years. Progress was slow. He felt frustrated. Then John learned about identity-based motivation. He realized it is not enough to want to study or exercise. He needed to change his story about himself. He started saying, "I'm a doer. I finish what I start. I take action." At first, it felt strange. His old identity, "I'm lazy," was comfortable. But he committed 2 small actions every day. Just 5 minutes of English study, 10 push-ups, or writing 1 paragraph. These tiny actions reinforced his new identity. Every time he acted, he told his brain, "Yes, this is who I am. I am a doer." Slowly, John changed. Small steps became natural. He stopped feeling guilty for procrastinating. He stopped needing motivation to act. His new habits formed automatically. He learned that identity drives behavior more than willpower. Here is a simple strategy for identity. Change. Use affirmations. Say daily, I am a doer, not a dreamer. Repeat it in the morning or before a task. Match your actions to your new identity. You are a doer. Take action. Even small steps, even tiny progress strengthens your identity. Celebrate small wins. Each action reinforces your identity as a doer. Your brain starts expecting action, not laziness. Think about language learning. If you say, "I'm not good at English," you will avoid speaking, listening, and writing. But if you say, "I'm a learner. I practice every day," you will take small steps consistently. That small change in identity produces big changes in results over time. Another story. Maria was always late with her assignments. She said, "I am forgetful. I can't finish on time." She changed her identity. I am responsible. I plan and finish tasks. She started small, writing down one task each day and completing it. Over time, her habits changed, and she became reliable and confident. Her identity shift made action natural. Here is a key lesson. Identity change beats motivation. Motivation comes and goes. You can feel inspired one day and lazy the next. But when your identity changes, action becomes automatic. You don't wait for motivation. You act because it is who you are. Let's use a metaphor. Imagine a seed. Laziness is like a weak root. It cannot grow strong. Discipline is like watering the seed. It helps it grow slowly. Identity is like sunlight. If sunlight is present, the seed grows naturally. Change your identity, and your actions will follow like sunlight feeding the plant. Here is a daily practice to reinforce your identity as a doer. Morning affirmation: I am a doer, not a dreamer. Tiny action: spend 5 minutes on a task you want to complete. Evening reflection: notice what you did today that matches your new identity. Over time, this practice rewires your brain. Your self-image becomes stronger than your excuses. Laziness weakens. Confidence grows. You start taking bigger steps naturally. English learners can use this identity strategy too. Say, I am a daily English learner. I am a speaker, not a shy listener. I practice every day, even a little. These words are more than motivation, they guide your actions. When you start acting like a doer, your skills improve. Momentum builds. Laziness disappears. Here is a short example of identity in action. Old identity: I'm lazy. I will not practice today. Gives action: none. New identity: I am a doer. I take small steps daily. Gives action: practice English 5 minutes. Gives 10 minutes. Gives 30 minutes. Gives fluency. Grows. Key phrase: I am a doer, not a dreamer. Repeat this every day. Let it guide your actions. Summary: identity shapes action. Change who you are in your mind, gives your habits, and results follow. Small daily actions reinforce your identity. Affirmations and reflection are tools to strengthen identity. When identity changes, laziness weakens, confidence grows, and success becomes natural. Your challenge today: choose one identity you want. I am a doer. Take one small action that matches this identity. Notice how it feels. Repeat tomorrow. Each small step strengthens your new identity. When your identity changes, life changes naturally. Laziness fades, discipline grows, and small actions turn into big results. Many people want success quickly. They want instant results, fast progress, and immediate rewards. But life is not like that. Success usually takes time. And this is why short-term thinking causes frustration and quitting. Imagine a student named Anna. She wanted to learn English. She started studying every day, 15 minutes. At first, she could barely understand a word. She thought, maybe I'm too slow. Maybe I can't do this. Many people would give up here. But Anna did not. She kept practicing a little every day. After 1 month, she noticed small improvements. She could understand simple sentences. After 6 months, she could write a short email in English. After 2 years, she spoke confidently with foreigners. Her small, consistent actions created big results over time. Anna's story shows that patience and persistence are more powerful than bursts of motivation. Here is another story. A young man wanted to run a marathon. On day 1, he could only run 5 minutes without stopping. It was hard and his legs hurt. But he trained a little every day. Slowly, 5 minutes became 10, 10 became 30, 30 became an hour. After several months, he completed a full marathon. He did not give up because he understood the power of small, consistent action and long-term vision. This idea works for every goal: learning English, exercising, writing a book, or building a business. Big achievements are the result of small actions over time. Short-term thinking leads to disappointment. Long-term thinking creates steady growth. Here is a key phrase to remember. Time is your friend if you use it well. Time is not your enemy. Each day, every small step adds up. Even if progress seems invisible today, compounds over months and years. Let's look at how to practice long-term thinking. Focus on daily habits. Do something small every day. Even 10 to 15 minutes counts. Example: English learners can practice vocabulary. Listen to a podcast or write one sentence. Ignore instant results. Success takes time. Don't compare yourself with others. Progress may be slow, but consistency beats speed. Celebrate small wins. Each small step matters. Recognize your effort, not only the result. Example: learning 5 new words today is progress. Even if you are not fluent yet, think in months and years, not hours or days. Set a vision. I want to speak English fluently in 2 years. Break it into daily steps. Small progress adds up. Here is another example of long-term vision in action. A writer wanted to finish a book. She wrote just 200 words a day. Some days it was hard. She thought about quitting, but she kept writing day after day. After 1 year, she finished the book. 200 words per day seemed small, but over time, it became a huge achievement. English learners can apply this immediately. Studying for only 15 minutes a day may feel too little. But in 1 year, that is about 90 hours of practice. In 2 years, 180 hours. That is enough to reach an intermediate level. The secret is consistency plus patience. Sometimes people feel frustrated because they expect instant results. They think, I study English every day, but I can't speak fluently yet. This is normal. Growth is slow. Progress may feel invisible at first, but small actions are never wasted. They create the foundation for future success. Here is a metaphor. Imagine planting a tree. You water it every day. At first, it seems nothing happens. After weeks, a small sprout appears. After months, it grows taller. Years later, it becomes a strong tree. Success is like this tree. Patience and care over time produce big results. Another important point: long-term vision gives meaning to small steps. Doing one small action may feel pointless today, but when you see it as part of a larger plan, it becomes meaningful. Each action is like a brick in a building. One brick alone doesn't make a house, but many bricks build something strong. Key phrase: growth is slow but steady. Long-term vision gives meaning to small steps. Keep this in mind when studying English, exercising, or learning a new skill. Every small effort matters because it compounds over time. Here is a practical tip for daily life. At the start of your day, write down one small action that supports your long-term goal. Do it no matter what. At the end of the day, reflect on it. Celebrate your consistency. Over time, these small daily actions build habits, confidence, and momentum. Your identity as a doer strengthens. Laziness fades. And action becomes natural. Short-term thinking leads to frustration and quitting. Small, consistent actions, combined with patience, produce long-term growth. Time is your ally. Use it wisely. Daily steps may seem small, but they compound into significant results over months and years. A long-term vision gives meaning to each action and strengthens your identity as a doer. Remember, success is not instant. It is the result of many small, persistent actions over time. Keep going, even when progress seems invisible. Your future self will thank you. We have reached the final part of our journey, but this is actually the most important part: action. All the ideas, strategies, and stories we have shared only work if you start using them. Laziness is a habit, not your destiny. You are not born lazy. Every person has the ability to take control of their time, energy, and life. Think back to the stories we learned. The English learner who studied just 5 minutes a day. That small start built momentum. And soon they were studying for hours without noticing. The marathon runner who began with only 5 minutes of running. Step by step, day by day, they achieved something that once seemed impossible. The person who shifted their identity from dreamer to doer. Small, consistent actions changed their habits, confidence, and life. These stories all share the same principle. Action comes first, and everything else follows. Action creates momentum. Momentum grows into discipline. Discipline strengthens identity. Identity drives long-term success. It is a simple chain. Action gives momentum, gives discipline, gives identity, gives success. Do not wait for motivation to appear. Motivation is temporary and unreliable. Instead, start small. Just take one tiny step today. Wash one dish, write one sentence, speak one English phrase, or run for 1 minute. Small steps grow into big achievements. Here are some final phrases to remember and repeat to yourself. Start small and energy will follow. Begin. And energy will grow naturally, step by step. Little by little, consistent small actions lead to big results. I am a doer, not a dreamer. Your identity shapes your behavior. Believe you are capable, and you will act accordingly. The key is consistency over intensity. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't compare yourself to others. The only important thing is that you take one step forward today. Even the smallest action defeats laziness and starts the chain of success. Here is a simple exercise to finish this. Journey. Write down one small action you can do today that moves you toward your goal. Do it, no matter what, even if it takes 5 minutes. Notice how you feel afterward. Confidence, energy, and momentum will start to grow. Repeat tomorrow. Keep the chain going. Every day you take action, you are building your future. Laziness loses its power as you form new habits, new routines, and a new identity. Each day becomes an investment in your long-term success. Remember, success is not a single big leap. It is a series of small, consistent steps. The marathon runner did not run 42 kilometers on day 1. The English learner did not speak fluently after one lesson. But they started, and that was the most important step. Your journey begins now. Take one small action today. It may seem tiny, but it sets everything in motion. Momentum, discipline, and identity all follow your first step. The future is built step by step, little by little, so. Let's say it together. I am a doer, not a dreamer. Step by step. Little by little, start small, and energy will follow. Call to action. Open your notebook. Write one English sentence. Go for a 5-minute walk or start your task. Do something today. Change begins now. Success is waiting for you, but it does not arrive without action. Your first step may be small, but it is the most important step of all. Take it. Build momentum. Strengthen your habits. Transform your identity. And in time, your long-term goals will become your reality. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every marathon runner was once a person running 5 minutes a day. Every fluent English speaker started with a single word. The difference between success and regret is action. Take your first step right now. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You have the power. Laziness is only a habit, and habits can be changed. Start small, keep going, and watch how your life transforms.